Have you ever wanted to write a book? Whether the book is about your own story, whether it's a science fiction, whether it's about how to do things, or which is around your expertise. No matter what it is, you have say, come across the what they call it the writer's blocks, that you just don't know where to start, what to say, is it good enough, or how to package it. And if someone is out there to even maybe look at your book or read it, even if you write it, you put all those effort and put it up there, is there anybody who's going to look at it and read it? I'm sure we all have been through this, and that's why we are having this very important discussion today. Hi, my name is Helia Singh, and I'm a wealth coach, and I help people to create the wealth so then they can follow their passion, do whatever they want to do. And as part of my new podcast series, talking to female coaches. And the purpose is just for you to find out who is the right coach for you to find out and connect with them and get their help. So the help is literally at your finger point. So those days are gone that we didn't know who to trust, where to go and find people, and how many interviews we've done. That's why I've done the whole lot for you. I've done all these interviews with these beautiful female coaches out there, and for you is just to watch them and find out who is the right person for you. So now, without further ado, I would like to invite and introduce my beautiful guest for today. She is a mastermind storyteller. Oh, that's amazing. I get a chill even when I think about it. And also, of course, she is a book coach. And her name is Kez Wickham St. George. Hello, Kez. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's been lovely to see you.
Really appreciate your time and effort. And before we press the record button, you were just telling me about your life. And I'm so interested to know more about it. And I'm sure my audience are going to be amazed and see that there is no limit of age or things that we just tell ourselves that, oh, maybe it's too late, or maybe what people are going to think about me. Yeah, it's just what we, especially as women, we've been very good at telling ourselves to dim our shine, not to do things. So please tell us a bit about yourself and your journey.
Okay, my journey started off when I was very young, and it just grew. It grew from, you stop and you start when you're a storyteller. So I enjoyed telling my children stories, and then they grew up and left the nest, and then grandchildren arrived, and I would do the same with them. But I always knew there were books to come out, many books. So I just once we moved to Australia when my family were in New Zealand. And so I started writing, seriously writing, not just little anecdotes for magazines or newspapers or little short stories. I actually started writing books. And luckily, I'm a multi-published author. So someone out there must like them. So it's my way of coaching is by encouraging mostly females to put their words of wisdom onto the paper. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much for that. And I'm sure we all have a book inside us, whether we like to admit it or whether we are happy to, go down there and, find it or, say it. Everybody got a book inside themselves.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
Okay.
It's very important that I don't think many women, because we get busy with families and work and careers, and then we think, oh, it's time to retire. But it's not. That's when you've stopped work and the family's doing their own thing, that's your time. And it's time to explore and expand your knowledge and your skills. So my first book got published when I was 50.
Wow.
Yeah. But I had little bits being published, little antidotes being published all the time. I mean, I worked for a company that published one of my books was under their name. So I was just known as the author. But there are times when, when the kids are down, when the kids are asleep and you're a young mum, start journaling. It's so important. Nobody actually reads the journal but you. And you can see day by day the growth of the chart and the growth of you once you start journaling. You can put as much in that journal as you like or as less as you like. But it certainly helps train the brain. It really does. Yeah, so I advise anyone start journaling, start wrapping your head around the words that you need to use. Because if we remain using positive words, then our self-talk gets positive as well.
That's amazing. The way that you look at it is, personally, I've been journaling a lot. So, and I went because I'm interested in poetry. I love poetry, and I write every now and then something. And when I started this, and I think it was during COVID, I started writing a few things here and there. And now when I look back, I've got about 180 entry into my journal. And I say, geez, I can actually put them together and it can become a book. So there is
exactly.
Yeah. So that's what that little step is so important. You are right on the money. And it's not about just going there and say, okay, now I need to come up with writing a book. Everything should be there as if somebody is telling me what to type and just type it. So that perception is absolutely incorrect, isn't it?
To some people, it is to some people. Some people like a line by line direction of what do I do now. I go with the heart. I really deal with a lot of people that feel and they have incredible emotions and feelings. And some people call them empaths, some people call them, there are all sorts of names you can put to it. All I'm saying is that when you feel that it's time, then it's time. And don't ignore that call.
Mm-hmm.
Like you've just said, you have a certain amount of poems. Well, immediately, as soon as you said that, I thought, oh, I can put her into a publisher that's wanting a poetry writer. I can put her into a newspaper. As soon as you said that, I knew exactly where to place you in your poems. And that's what I do for a living. I place people into magazines and do book reviews for them so that the world just looks at them and goes, wow, look at that fabulous book. It's not about me. It's about the book.
Wow. Wow. So it's great. So it's not just about teaching people how to write their books. It's about even you will help them to connect with publishers.
That's
And
right. Yeah. All of
that
that.
that is amazing. That I think that's one of the biggest blockage out there, that people say, okay, fine, even if I read it and put it there and nobody read it, then what? And or how to find someone to publish it. And that's why they get that, resistance immediately, that maybe it wasn't worth it, all the effort. But you will take away that problem away.
There's no mystery to publishing. There really isn't. Um, I'm with a fabulous publisher, but I'm saying that since I've been working doing book reviews and helping people as a book coach for 10 years now. So the publishers, I have quite a few that say, send someone my way. But it's knowing I need to connect with the author to know where to put them. That's basically what I need to do, is let me know who you are. And by saying that, take off the blindfold, let me see who you are. I don't want to see the businesswoman, which I often do. I want to see the heart.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that. So please tell me about the storytelling part, because I think that's become one of those buzzwords these days. Everybody talks about the storytelling, but
Yeah.
I'm sure someone with your wisdom and experience, you have different view on storytelling.
Look, there are two ways of writing a book. There's the business way and there's a heart way. That's what I did too. My terminology is I write from the heart. I write from my emotional being. I write from my experiences. Any person that writes a book, whether it's fiction or non-fiction, will have something of themselves in that book. There's no doubt about that. Where it is, nobody knows. But if you write like I do, from experiences from the heart, meeting so many people, I've traveled around the world twice and I've met so many people. I've gone across Australia, across backwards and forwards so many times, meetings, and I had to put that story of meeting all these people somewhere. So it went into a book, and I found it worked. People get back to me all the time and say, how did you meet those people? Honestly, I've met people in the middle of the Nullarbor Desert, and we've been parked there just overnight, maybe making dinner, and people come out of the bush to tell me their story, and that's the truth. I've had so many opportunities and experiences to tell stories that they go into a book. And it's what they call armchair theatre, a good book. You don't have to have your TV on. You can go to bed with it. You can sleep with it. You can get up in the morning and you can open the book again. It's reading, or especially writing your book, is cathartic, and it's quite a healing journey.
It is for sure. It is for sure. Personally, I have written a few books, but they are more on business side. But poetry has been always my heart. And that's something that I haven't put it out there yet. Every now and then I just put one poem out just to show people, or at least make myself feel good. It was for Valentine's Day, now Women's Day, just for some occasional, time I put something out there. But that's it. I always had that fear that, I'm supposed to be known as businesswoman. I don't want my clients to think, well, is she thinking about poetry or is she thinking about business? That to get these two stories together and come out and being authentic. So now I can hear you very well that, yes, this is how we should do if we want to live a life that is fulfilled. So we need to come up with what is in the heart.
That's right. Well, I deal with a few businesswomen myself, and they're all fabulous. They're just wonderful, wonderful people, and very high ranked in the business world. And I help them with write their stories. I like contract editing for them and stuff like that. Now, sometimes you have to stop and say it needs a really good shake up with the editing, but you have to realize it's a business book. So the two different languages don't merge. But most of the businesswomen I deal with are so spiritual in their personal lives that the spirituality sometimes seeps in and I have to take it out. But now and again, it's allowed. Now and again. But there is nothing wrong. I mean, I have one of my ladies, top-notch business lady in Perth, and she writes under a different name. And she writes her poetry and she writes her short story books under a different name. So there's all ways of doing this. No one has to know that you wrote the book. And sometimes when you're not very confident of how the book's going to be received, that's quite a nice way to do it.
Okay, so there is a way, if you are not ready to do it, to put the name out there, but still bring that joy of writing something.
That's right, yeah. And of course, you must look at it that we have so many anthologies these days. They're coming out, the Brickwork anthologies. That's around about 4,000 words. It's 3 pages a chapter. So you can always join a chapter to keep your stories short and succinct. And there's also magazine writing, which will actually, there's so many magazines out there that will accept your work. You don't get paid for it, but it's a start.
Okay, this is great. It's wonderful. Look, I'm sure, like myself, that I'm already wanted to know more about it. Many of my audience, they like to know more. How they can get in touch with you? What's the best way? What's your website if they want to find out more? And and of course, more wisdom as something to try it on before they jump in.
Okay. Go to my website, which is www.keswickham.com, or just go to my email, which is kesart27@gmail.com.
Guys, don't worry. We're going to put all the details in the caption, so you don't have to just write it down now or pause it, rewind it, and watch it again. We're going to put it out there. That is great. Thank you so much. I remember the other day I was just looking at your Facebook page, profile, and I saw one of the posts that really spoke to me, and that was about leaving the heart print. That is something always said about leaving the fingerprint. That's and right. Now changing it to heart print, that was one of those aha moments for me. So
it was a lot. I got a lot of comments about that one. When you write, you just don't use your fingertips, your energy, your vibration, which is your heart chakra. Not a lot of people believe in these things, but it's your heart talking through your fingertips. So you know how we touch and we feel. Well, it's the same thing. Your heart is actually pouring out these words through your fingertips. It's when you look at upon its nature. We have been writing stories since caveman days. Not not as well presented, but we do have beautiful books these days. But when you think about it, writing has, communication. That's what it is. It's basically telling your story. Or like I do, I have so much fun writing my books because these stories. I mean, in my family, I've got Jewish, English, Irish, and Maori blood in my family lines. We're all storytellers, all
So
of us. So when I used to look at as a child, I would think they're telling stories outside, and I would go and listen because my mum and dad would have like fire pit gatherings with all the family and the relations. It was a thing that grew inside me, and I knew that one day I would be a storyteller. I always knew that. How, when, why, I didn't know, but it happened. And 15 books later, here I am.
wow. Wow, that's amazing. Thank you so much. We're going to put the link to your books even in the caption, so for our audience to have a look.
Okay.
So if somebody, let's say they are on the verge, they don't know whether they wanted to write something or they think they want to write something, but they don't know where to start. So what is your advice? Where should they start? So, I mean, to have a one-on-one with you, do you have a workshop? Do you have an online workshop? So what does it
No,
work?
online workshops don't really work. Not for me. I found that a one-on-one works better. I can give you I'm totally focused on you then. So what I ask you to do is write me, if after we've had our free half-hour call, write me a chapter or maybe 2 paragraphs at the least, 2 paragraphs. Let me see where your thoughts are, where your lines are going. And I can, 2 or 3 of my clients, they write fairy tales, but they tend to they take the difficult path, and I have to show them the easy way into this. Like imagination, your imagination is the easiest way. It's God given, it's free.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
absolutely free, and I don't know why people don't use it.
Exactly. You just help them to tap into it.
Yeah. So whether it's a business book, again, you have this. If you're going to write a business book, you've got the skills to do so. If you haven't got the skills, don't write your business book, right? If you're going to write a fiction book or a non-fiction book, make sure that you have all the research handy so that when you do talk to me, just say, I'm writing a fairy tale, Kaz. It's about the jolly green giant that climbed up a beanstalk or whatever, and I will lead you from there.
Wow. Wow. That just sounds very easy.
It is easy.
Thank you so much for making it easy. So please, guys, do not, just go away. So just watch this and go for her half an hour free sessions just to find out, explore it. I think that's the thing. Today, even I had a chat with another coach, and we we're just talking about let's find out. If we make that our mantra, so
Yes.
just give yourself permission to find out before you just
That's right.
and shut down
Let's
your
find it.
dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Definitely.
well, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Yes, really, really appreciate that. And I can't wait to have a one-on-one chat with you on my upcoming poetry book.
Okay, that would be lovely.
That would be really great because I think I need a bit of push from someone like yourself just to finally put it out there. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And for my beautiful viewers, please make sure to put your comments, like, and share this video with other people that you might think that, okay, they will need to watch this. So there is no barrier to age or to write a book or to follow what is your dream. So yeah, and beautiful Kaz Wickham St. George from beautiful Perth is going to teach you how to write that book. Thanks again for watching. And until next episode, have a happy, healthy, wealthy life. Bye for now.